Hello, I'm Jamie Lee, and you are watching Rise Up, an initiative to educate on climate change. Today, we begin a fascinating new subject, cities. Cities offer us everything: culture, work, transport, technologies, and lots of fun. Give me a second. Don't hang up on me. Wait, don't hang up. Hello? No, not you. No, not you. Hello? It's amazing, but many city folks only know rural areas from their TVs and technological gadgets. Cities and their inhabitants don't even know their own territory, where they belong and which they depend on. Today we will discover why it is so important to know our own territories, value them, and be mindful about sustainable cities. I'll give you tips so you can be environmentally friendly. Hello? Come on now, rise up! Do you think a city in the moon is possible? We are far from that dream because cities cannot exist without natural resources to make them function. There's no water on the moon, no oxygen or soils to crop, neither food or raw materials. That is why many cities have been founded very close to important ecosystems that can provide them with water, fresh air, fertile soils, and different sources of food. Today, many are close or some even have within them wetlands, forests, moorlands, lakes, seas, rivers, or swamps. Cities have also looked into locating themselves close to the most important raw materials for their own functioning. We need raw materials to feed and dress ourselves, for transportation, to manufacture our technological devices, for everything. Even for my phone? Yes, for everything. But unfortunately, we have forgotten the importance of maintaining harmony within our territory. The crazy rhythm of those of us who live in cities has led us to demand many resources to maintain our lifestyle, and seldom do we ask ourselves where those resources come from. This has made us lose the connection with our territories. That's true, my phone's connection gets worse as soon as I leave town. I'm not talking about that type of connection. I will try and explain myself better. And for that, we can use our challenge for today. Can you match the products on the left with the pictures on the right? Some relations may seem pretty obvious, but others not so much. Think about the raw materials to make these products. For now, let's continue talking about the lack of harmony in our territories. Imagine that the territories are the human body, which means they cannot function separately. We have the digestive system, our lungs, our bones, the nervous system, the eyes, the ears, and many others. Anything that affects your body's systems affects your being as a whole, because everything is connected. Cells are the smallest living systems that compose the human body, and we have millions and millions of these cells. Imagine that our city is but only one of these cells. Many times we think that our cities are isolated from the rest of the territory, as if we had a thick membrane separating us from the grasslands, the rivers, the lagoons, the woods, from everything that we commonly refer to as the countryside. And we assume that cities are urban spaces with many roads, buildings, factories, stores, noises, billboards, and vehicles, amongst other things. Oh yeah, leave the countryness to the countryside and the city stuff to the cities. Wait, this cell could not survive without all the elements that make it up and those surrounding it. Unfortunately, many of our cities continue to grow and develop without thinking about how they are affecting their territories, and that has many consequences. Cities produce almost 75% of greenhouse gases emitted into the entire world. In general, all of the human activities that cause climate change end up affecting the water, the air, the ground, and therefore food and welfare. Cities grow and require more and more space, resources, and raw materials. When we demand from the territory much more than what it can provide us, ecosystems can no longer offer us the resources and vital services that we need, and thus harmony is broken. We have reached a very critical point. We need to understand that cities are part of a greater territory. It can't be considered isolated because that way it cannot function, and neither can the territory. And what can we do? That's why it's so important to think about sustainable cities and territories. A territory that can sustain, that won't crumble in an earthquake? Let me explain it better. When we talk about sustainability, we mean that present and future generations will have welfare. To achieve this, it is important that the vital resources that guarantee our life today remain throughout time. Therefore, we need to fix a small detail inside this cell. Hand, help us out. Much better. A sustainable city promotes green spaces within itself. In parks, rivers, wetlands, you can have green spaces in your own garden or even your rooftop. A territory in harmony has sustainable cities that protect and profit without harming nearby ecosystems or those inside them, because they know that these ecosystems supply them with clean air, water, and food. These are cities that contribute positively to the entire region. Thinking about sustainable cities is very important. It is estimated that by the year 2020, 82% of the population in Latin America and the Caribbean will be living in cities. 82%! This shows us that many people have great hopes in cities and expect to find work and services in them and see them as the perfect place to share with other people in a rich cultural and social space. But this growth of the cities is not sustainable if we continue to allow harm to come to the systems that maintain the balance of the territory. Let me show you a few examples of sustainability. But before, let's find out the answer to the challenge for today. Can you help me do the matching? Those two are easy. The pencil is made of wood, and the cake needs flour and milk, so we must link it to the cows in the wheat fields. But the soap and the toothpaste? Very good, thanks, Hand. Nowadays, most of the soaps are made using pork fat, and one raw material used for the production of toothpaste is corn. Even though we are in the city, we're more connected with the entire region than what you can imagine. That's why it's important to think of sustainable cities in harmony with the entire territory. To achieve this, we need to learn how to preserve water and energy, consume responsibly, and by means of our purchase decisions, work towards reducing the pressure on the resources that our territory is able to offer us. The city has to start offering and returning positive things to the different parts of the territory. Instead of returning garbage and contamination to the rural zones, we should return clean water to the rivers after using it and promote an air free of greenhouse gases. For example, we can look for strategies so that power generation and transportation are less and less contaminant. We must also take care of rivers, green areas, and ecosystems, both inside and outside of the urban center, as these spaces promote fun and vital services for the city, as well as for the entire region, and strengthen our love for the entire territory. Now we do have a territory in ideal harmony. What's that, Soil? I'm no longer as productive. I'm drying out. The soil is right. It is very important we take care of the soils so that they can continue producing food for us to live. Even your own vegetable gardens help. You can help make your city a much friendlier place. That's why now is time to reveal our superpower of the day. By simply reusing and minimizing consumption of raw materials for production, we can help protect our regions. If we reuse materials, for example, wood from old constructions to make new furniture, we can avoid cutting down trees from our territory. Look for more advice on reusing resources on our webpage. What are you doing? I'm going to make a salad with this lettuce I planted myself. That way I'll help my city and my region to become more sustainable. That's great! Don't miss our next episode where we will talk about other cool ways in which you can contribute to a nicer and friendlier city for the planet. Thanks for watching and rise up!